So I'm actually really happy to be bringing this series back, and I say bringing it back, it wasn't really a series in the first place, it was, but I've only done 2 episodes of this series. One of them was when Horizon came out, and one of them was all the way back when Grokrovi came out, and it was one of them, the second one was on the Mark II versus the Mark I versus the Mark III, because obviously when Grokrovi came out the Mark III was new, so that is where, I don't even class that as a ray gun to be honest, but that is when Grokrovi came out, and then the first one I ever did was on the VMP, Vesper, and the Kuda. Pretty similar weapons, but as you can see by the title, Free For All, I compare 3 weapons in a free for all, but it's spelt differently with a free, you know how it is. So that is basically just a series I compare 3 weapons, rate them out of 10, and then I'll tell you which one I prefer out of the 3. Now today, as you've probably read by the title, and they'll all probably be in the thumbnail, I've not made the thumbnail for this video yet, but we've got the Haymaker against the KRM against the Brecci. Now the interesting part about these weapons is that all of them are different types of shotguns. We've got semi-automatic, which is the Brecci, we've got the pump action, which is the KRM, nearly forgot the name of it then, and we've also got the fully automatic, which is the Haymaker, which you don't even have to click the trigger, you just pull it down once and it just goes off. But yeah, put down in the comment section below what gun you prefer better. Obviously this is going to be my opinion, I'm going to show you the stats, I'm going to show you the damage, ammo, the RPM, all that good stuff. But yeah, obviously at the end I'm going to rate the gun on how good it is. The stats will obviously factor in, but I'm also going to rate it on how good I like the gun. So if you haven't watched any of the other 2 episodes, and I will be doing this I think once a week, possibly, I'll try to do that, but if you like this, smack a like. My past 2 episodes did get over 100 views, which at that time was really difficult to do, let alone now. So smash a like if you enjoy it, put down in the comment section below which one is your favourite. I know a lot of people will put Haymaker, a lot of people will put Brecci, but the KRM is really underrated in my opinion, and we'll get into that in this video. Anyway, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to be starting with the Haymaker, also known as the Shoe Shining, which is its pack-a-punched variant. Now, with the stats on screen, you should be looking at its damage thinking, you know what, that has got brilliant damage, but when you compare it to guns like the Brecci that I'll be comparing later, it's not got the highest damage in this list, is all I'm saying. But this gun is really good. Its ammo count is one thing that lets it down. As you can see, it's got 16 and 64 in the reserve, so 16 in the magazine, and then when it's papped, it has 25 in the magazine and 125 in reserve. That's still, I mean, that's good. That's honestly pretty good for a shotgun, but the non-pack-a-punched ammo is just pointless, and the fact that this is a full automatic shotgun just makes it completely useless ammo-wise, and you run out of this on, like, let's say round 17, it would take like half a round for you to run out of bullets if you're using the Haymaker or the Shoe Shining. So it can get frustrating using the gun over and over again. This is more of a gun that you use just if you're in a certain situation, if you want to get zombies out of your way. So let's say you're camping on the giant catwalk, for example. If you've run out of ammo in your Dingo or whatever gun you were using, and you just want to get to the box, and you want to get off the catwalk, but you can't, there's loads of zombies in front of you, whip out the Haymaker, just spray them all down. That's kind of what the Haymaker's for. It's also good for taking out Panzers, taking out Margwas, just any sort of boss zombie, Thrashers. It can take out boss zombies really well, but it's definitely a weapon you need to reserve for the right moments, like taking out that boss zombie, like getting all the zombies out of your way, like if you're trapped in a corner, just spray the Haymaker. So this gun is used mostly for that. As you can see also, the RPM is pretty good. The rate of fire is 300, so 300 RPM, that is really good actually, for a shotgun especially. It's not the highest, well, it is the highest RPM out of the list, but it's not the highest in terms of guns. Obviously it's a shotgun, you wouldn't expect that. The highest, as far as I'm aware, is the VMP, but I'm pretty sure that's just out of guns that are not in the DLC. There's probably a DLC gun that's got even a higher rate of fire than that. Now we also have the Brecci, also known as the Stellar Screech. Now this gun has got better damage than the Haymaker. I know I said the Haymaker was a gun that you can get zombies out of the way with, and the reason for that is because it's fully automatic and it's really strong. This gun is not fully automatic, it's semi-automatic. You've got to just pull the trigger, and you can keep spamming the trigger depending on how good your trigger finger is, basically, depending on how good you can do with this gun. So the ammo in this gun, 10 times better than the Haymaker non-pack-a-punched, 12 in the magazine, 108 in reserve. That is immediately much better than the Haymaker, especially for a shotgun. That's quite a bit of ammo. Papped, it's got 24 in the magazine and 120 in reserve. Now this has got very similar pack-a-punched ammo to the Haymaker. The Haymaker's actually got better than the Brecci for some reason, even though the Brecci starts off a better. But if we're going about just the base of it, I think the Brecci dominate. Well, I don't think you can tell the Brecci dominates it in ammo, but then when it gets onto PAP version, for some reason the Haymaker barely wins. I have no idea why that's even a thing, but we'll go with it. The RPM on this gun, obviously it's not going to be as good as the Haymaker as it's not fully automatic, 187 RPM. Now, obviously because this is not a fully automatic weapon, you do have to keep clicking down the trigger, so your trigger finger does really count with the Brecci here. You can't just, I don't know, just hold it down like I've said about 8 times now with the Brecci, which is obviously a downside. I'd prefer to be able to hold it down, but it can make you more stable with the weapon, and this weapon is way more stable than the Haymaker is. It's got better mobility, and the Haymaker, although is a really, really good weapon, I do prefer getting the Brecci out of the box because of its power, and it's just overall more ammo, better weapon in my opinion. Now the damage on it is also, I've already explained this, but I'm just going to put it out there anyway. The damage is also much better. Well, I wouldn't say much better, but it's better than the Haymaker. Not by a lot, but then its Pack-a-Punch version does get a bit better by a wider margin, I would say, the 2 Pack-a-Punch versions. But yeah, that's that. So now we've done the Brecci, now we've done the Haymaker, let's go over to the KRM. Now we move over to the KRM, which is my personal favourite shotgun in the game. It doesn't mean it's the best shotgun, and it doesn't mean that it's going to get the best at the end of this. You'll still have to wait and see, but it is my favourite to use just because it's a wall weapon and it's the easiest to receive. So I'm not doing this based on how easy the gun is to receive, but if I was, the KRM would probably take the cake, because the KRM, you could just buy off the wall. The other 2 weapons you need to get out of the box, or if you want to be technical about it, you can get the Haymaker in the gondola, so the Haymaker would be a bit easier to get than the Brecci, but I mean, basically the exact same. We're not going to get that technical into it. So the KRM, also known as the Dagon's Glare, the ammo in this gun is, it's okay. It's worse than the Haymaker, but it's not fully automatic. It is a pump action shotgun, so you won't be going through as much ammo. You go through Haymaker ammo way faster than you do. I'd say the KRM goes through about as much ammo, or as fast as the Brecci does, because the Brecci and I say the Brecci and the KRM are very, very similar guns, at least in ammo wise, okay, at least in ammo wise compared to what they are, because the Haymaker fully automatic having less ammo than the Brecci, you know, it just doesn't. But anyway, let's get back onto the KRM. So the ammo in the gun is decent packed. It has basically, no, it does have the same ammo as the Haymaker non-pack-a-punched. So you could argue there that the ammo in the Haymaker, because it's the same as the non-pack-a-punch version, and I was complaining about the non-pack-a-punch version not having as much ammo, you could complain straight away. The KRM is useless. The KRM is going to run out of ammo way too fast if the pack-a-punch version has about as much ammo as, or exactly as much ammo as the Haymaker's original version. Now, the reason for this, and the reason that I'm completely fine with it, is because it's a wall weapon and you can buy ammo whenever you want. You don't need that max ammo, you don't need that gobble gun, that alchemical, you don't need nothing like that. You can just buy ammo off the wall. Yes, it does cost 4,500 when it's pack-a-punched, but when you're on them higher rounds, that won't be a problem anyway. You earn about 10 grand a round, so it doesn't really matter. So that is the reason why I'm not too bothered about the ammo, although if we're taking away the fact that it's a wall weapon, it would go really, really low on the list. But it's a wall weapon, so ammo is pretty easy to receive. Now, the RPM on this gun, obviously it's going to be bad. It's a pump-action shotgun, 160 RPM, not the greatest. I'd say one of the worst. I'm pretty sure in Call of Duty Zombies it's not great, but it is a really powerful shotgun, and it is a shotgun. You wouldn't expect this from a pump action shotgun, so the RPM I'm kind of going to take away, because if it had high RPM it would take away from the fact it's a pump action shotgun. But the damage is where I really, really enjoy this weapon, because as you can see by the stats, when this is non-packed it has worse damage than both the Haymaker and the Brecci, but when it turns into the Dagon's Glare, it has the best damage by a mile. It has the biggest gap, I would say. There's big ammo gaps, there's big gaps with certain things, but I would say the damage gap from the Brecci to the KRM is the biggest and the most noticeable. The KRM, you will see me, I actually streamed Horizon Track a few days ago. I brought the KRM to take out the Panzer, and it was kind of like a weapon just there to help me out. It is much, much better with taking out panzers, taking out boss zombies in general, because it is a wall weapon, and its damage is much, much better. And when you do pack-a-punch it, and I'll probably have packed gameplay on screen now, you can easily see that it reloads so fast. The RPM is unnoticeable, and technically the rate per fire would go, or the rate of fire rather, would go up in that case. Obviously, that we're going on about the non-pack-a-punch version when we're talking about the rate per fire or the RPM. But now we're coming into the voting part of the video, so let's get into to this. So before I get into rating these guns out of 10 and also saying which one is my favourite, I want you to put down in the comment section below which gun is your favourite, because I know I'm going to have a different opinion to some other people out there. I will be taking the stats off this and comparing these stats as well, so I'm not just going to pick which one I think is my favourite. As I've already said, the KRM is my favourite to get and the favourite to use, but I'm not just going to go KRM because it's my favourite. I'm going to go, if I picked KRM, it would be because of the reload, the ammo, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into rating these weapons 1 out of 10 and seeing which one is my favourite. So we're going to be starting off here with the first gun we reviewed, and it's going to go in order. So it's going to be the Haymaker. Now the Haymaker, I'm going to give easily a 6 out of 10. Now 6 out of 10 doesn't seem that good. It's not that bad. If it's under 5, I would confirm it. I would say it is bad. And the reason being it's 6 is because of its ammo. The ammo is the one thing that just gets this gun down. You might be thinking, well, its damage is good. Well, it's fully automatic. You should put it higher. I should, but the ammo just doesn't. And anyone who's used a Haymaker knows it runs out of ammo way too quick. And unless you've got an unlimited amount of catchbacks or an unlimited amount of, I don't know, alchemicals, for example, then this weapon is not useless, but it's pretty useless for most things. It's only good for clearing out hordes of zombies, which I guess is a big thing, but the ammo just puts me off this gun 100%, and I'm sure people who've used a Haymaker would agree with that, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's a really good shotgun, and I would suggest using it, but it's just that ammo that just takes me off the gun. So now we move on to the Brecci, and the Brecci I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now this is only one rating better than the Haymaker. I probably expected this to be like an 8 or a 9, but I'm going to give it a 7. The reason being is because if this gun was fully automatic, if it was a Haymaker with this much ammo, it'd be like an 8, probably even a 9, but the gun, I don't know, I just don't have a great trigger finger. I'm not good at using this. Unless you have a good trigger finger, you won't be good at using this. Obviously, I'm not going on about my experience. I've got to go on about the overall experience. Now, the ammo in this gun is great. The ammo, I love the ammo in this gun. It's got really good ammo for a shotgun, especially. I can't remember any shotguns that have had better ammo. There probably have been that are non-packed, I'm thinking of, but I can't think in my head. Maybe the Spaz? I'm not 100% sure. I will have to look that up, but I can't remember any shotguns that have had more ammo than the Brecci does. Now, the Stellar Screech, I'm a bit disappointed about because the ammo is obviously not as good as it is with the normal Brecci, because as you can see, it doesn't go up that much. With the Haymaker, it goes up so much. The Haymaker papped has more than the papped. So the Shoe Shining has more than the Stellar Screech. That makes no sense to me, and I feel like Treyarch should definitely improve the ammo for the Stellar Screech, or the Pack-a-Punch Brecci, and then the Brecci would probably get an 8, I'm being 100% honest, but the ammo gap is just not there for me. I could do just as well with the normal Brecci as I could this Pack-a-Punch, to be 100% honest. The RPM, I don't think really matters, as it is a trigger-happy weapon. You've just got to hit the trigger as fast as you can, and basically that's what happens there. But its RPM is not that bad, and its damage is a really nice feature. This is why it becomes better than the Haymaker. I probably would have put them very similar, probably both 6s, but the damage, I've got to put it just above the Haymaker. It's going to get a 7 out of 10 in this case. And now we move on to the weapon I said is my favourite to use, the KRM. Doesn't necessarily mean it will be the best, but the KRM I am going to give, drum roll please, 7 out of 10. So I've give both of these weapons a 7 out of 10, the Brecci and the KRM, and I know that doesn't really make sense. You want me to pick a weapon, a final weapon, a weapon that is going to be the best to use. Now, I will get onto that at the end of the video, which one I think is best to use. You probably heard me say it about a billion times in this video, but going on about just stats and stats on their own, the Dagon's Glare and the Stellar Screech, I would say, deserve to be rated the exact same. Now, the Brecci, I would have put one more than the KRM. The KRM probably would have got a 6 in my books. The only reason it's on par with the Stellar Screech, I know the damage is much better, and that is one reason why I'm looking at it, but the other reason is it's a wall weapon, and it's easy to get. I know that how easy it is to get. The obtainability, I should say, is not one of the factors that I'm adding in. It's ammo, RPM, damage, and all that. But you've still got to consider that it's a war weapon, and it's going to be much easier to get than the Brecci. So I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Now, the ammo, like I said, not the greatest in the world. I mean, the Pack-a-Punch version's got as much as the Haymaker non-Pack-a-Punched, but the damage is where it really shines, and ammo you can just buy it off the wall. So I'm going to give this gun a 7 out of 10, although I would say I prefer to use this over the Brecci, because the Brecci is a random hit chance. You may get it, you may not get it. Within the Dagon's Glare, you can get it all the time, and if you have a war power, you just get it Pack-a-Punch instantly, which is what I normally do on Horizon and maps that have bosses that I want to take out really quickly. Anyway, thanks for watching this. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. I know I kind of left you at a cliffhanger there with 2 guns being rated the exact same, and I've not done that before. This is only my 3rd episode, I know, but I don't think I've done that before where I've had the best 2 guns being rated the exact same. But thanks for watching. Tell me in the comment section below if there's any free weapons you want me to do. Maybe when Zombies Chronicles comes out, I may do the, I don't know, Galil Mark II and then another gun. I don't know. I may switch it up and do some new guns. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.